Verse 31 with it, huh?
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Madela Masai if you're new here, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning back into today's video. Alright, so again, I'm going to be speaking softly because my little one is asleep and I don't want my sister's dog to start barking. So today I'm going to be talking about the fastest ways to start making money in real estate, whether you have a license. So it's going to be some licensed options and some options that does not require a license, and it will require little to no money for each of the ways to get into real estate. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to list off the options, each option, and with each option I'm going to explain what it is, then I'm going to explain the cost, then I'm going to let you know where you can do more research or find more research on this, or find more information on this particular option of real estate investing or real estate business. All right, so the first one is wholesaling. What is wholesaling? So when you think of a wholesaler, you think of someone that's pretty much the middleman, almost like a dot connector. So you're not producing the product and you're not the end buyer, you're somewhere in the middle. So what that looks like for houses is you're going to find someone that wants to sell their home, and you're gonna find someone that wants to buy a home. So you are the dot connect, you're the middleman, all right? That is the simplest, easiest way to explain it. Usually with wholesaling, the majority of the time, honestly, if not all the time, you will be looking for a distressed property. What is a distressed property? That is a property that could be abandoned, vacant, and then you see a home that's like boarded up or has like no trespassing signs, overgrown grass. Like those are some telltale signs that that home is abandoned or vacant. Or you can see a property that doesn't look the best, like they're not keeping up with the grass, they're not keeping up with their roof, they're not keeping up, like you know a home that looks distressed, right? So homes that may have not the best roof, not the best floor, and needs a lot of work. It's not the traditional ready to move in home. So you find a home like that, and then you make them an offer, and then you usually find someone that wants to buy a distressed property, specifically a distressed property, and then you put that person together. So like I said, usually we're looking for distressed properties. You get the home on the contract. Well, how do you get the home on the contract? What you would want to do, and this is a short answer to that, you will pretty much just make an offer. So you will call them up, or let me just backtrack. Usually to find out who lives at that person, unless you're gonna door knock, for example, if it's a vacant home, you would want to skip trace. What is skip tracing? Skip tracing is pretty much putting somebody's address into whatever people search website, and you'll find their name, you will find their, the name should pop up, the phone number should pop up, their current address should pop up, email should pop up. So that's just skip tracing. So you'll call that person and say, hey, I saw that your property looks like distressed or vacant. I have an investor that wants to buy a home that looks like yours, and I would like to offer you $40,000 for your home. You know, you make an offer, and then when that person says yes, you would have to have some sort of contract. I can't get into that right now because it's a short video. And then after you have that contract like signed, it's a binding agreement, like they want to sell you that home, then you will go and hopefully you already have the list of buyers, right? And then you would go to assign that contract. And what you would do, how wholesaling makes you money. So if you got the home on the contract for $40,000, your assignment fee would be anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 to $50,000. I've heard crazy assignment fees. So honestly, whatever somebody will buy that home for. So if you got it for $40,000 and someone says, oh, I can fix it up and sell it for $250,000 or $300,000. I'll pay $70,000 for that house. I really do want that house. I feel like it could make me a lot of money. So I'll pay 70 grand for that house. Pretty much you just made $30,000 right there, you know? And the best way to do it is to have that investor pay all closing costs. So honestly, you're not paying any hidden fees and whatnot. So you could walk away with $30,000 then and there. And just one more quick tip. Before you even do start making offers, for homes, go into Facebook groups. Facebook groups is the best way to find end buyers. Now, you might have some scammy people in there, but if you were to go on a Facebook, like a wholesaling group, or like a cash buyers group, and you see people are posting their wholesaling deals and are looking for end buyers, usually you see like a bunch of emails in the comments. Just copy and paste and put them in your notes or something, or your on your laptop, and reach out to those people. Hey, I'm a local wholesaler, just wanted to introduce myself, and create a buyers list. Create a buyers list first before you put something on the contract. Okay. Cost. How much does wholesaling cost? So wholesaling, like I said, you are looking for a distressed property. It doesn't cost you anything to go in a Facebook group and build a buyer's list. That's no cost at all. But in order to get the leads, that might cost you. Now, you could go to Fiverr and ask someone over in Pakistan, hey, can you give me a list of vacant properties in this specific zip code, right? So they'll skip trace addresses for you, or just find you a bunch of vacant homes, right? Or you can do driving for dollars. I think it's called driving for dollars, where you drive around your neighborhood and you look for distressed properties, and then you write the addresses down, and then you skip trace it yourself. So that can cost you some money. So Fiverr probably gonna cost you like $20 to get a vacant list of like 100 homes. You might have to keep doing that because there's a bunch of people that's also doing this. I have to keep spending like $5 here, $10 here, $50 here, weekly or monthly, or however you want to do it, until you get one that says yes. If you want to pay for a texting app to like do like a blast text or whatever the case may be, pay for that. Honestly, it's just like little things like gas money, skip tracing ads, reaching out to someone to skip trace for you. It's not a crazy expensive cost. The other cost to think about is when you put a home under contract, you might need to do earnest money, right? So earnest money could be as little as, some people have done $10. I don't know how y'all did $10, but some people have done as little as $10. So with earnest money, that just shows like you're a serious buyer. $500 sometimes, $1,000, $50. And really what you can negotiate. If you can negotiate no earnest money, do no earnest money. I'm sure you won't be the first one to negotiate that, but those are the costs. So gas for driving around, money to do skip tracing, and just little things like that. Like I said, when it comes to the closing costs, have the end buyer pay for all of that. And yeah, you could make like 10, 20. I know this guy Jerry Norton, which is where you can find him and find more information on wholesaling. He's a millionaire off of wholesaling. So it's a very good way to start getting into real estate without a license as fast as possible, and to make money quicker than a good bit of money quicker than the traditional route. All right, so my second way is Airbnb arbitrage. For some reason, I can never say that right, but Airbnb arbitrage. What that is you will find someone that has a rental property or an apartment that allows subleasing. What is subleasing? So I am the leaser, and I'm going to sublease. So I'm going to lease it out to somebody else for a shorter period of time. So if I have a 12-month lease, I might put my apartment on Airbnb or Booking.com or Robo for, let's say, like 6 months out of the year, and they could do like short-term leases. Airbnb arbitrage is a great way to get into short-term short-term leasing without having your own physical property. It is honestly not that hard to get into. It is just a numbers game. The best way to find, and the reason why I say it's a numbers game is because there's a lot of people that don't want to do subleasing. They don't want to have a bunch of people coming in and out their property, right? So what you would need to do is reach out to a bunch of people, a bunch of apartments, a bunch of rentals, and call them and say, hey, do you allow subleasing? And if you allow subleasing, what are the requirements? And then from there, you will move forward into that direction, okay? So like I said, it's a numbers game. What you can do is you can get into Facebook groups in your city, like landlords that allow subleasing in Georgia, landlords that allow subleasing in Texas, and see and they post there like, hey, I'm a landlord, I have a 3-bedroom 2-bath home that I would like to sublease, hit me up, and that'll be the fastest way to find a landlord that does allow subleasing versus just calling aimlessly. So that is something that you can do. Because some of these groups are scammy. Just do your due diligence and do your research before sending any money. View the property before sending any money. Do make sure that that person actually owns that property before sending any money. Okay, do that, and that would be the best way to find a landlord that allows subleasing. The cost of that would be pretty much straightforward. Now, I would say the best thing to do is have at least 3 months rent saved up. So if you want to sublease let's say like a studio apartment in a downtown area because it's busy and it's like a lot of people coming in and out and it's close to the city, and that studio apartment is like $1,400 a month, I would say at least 3 months worth. All right, so like let's say you have at least $7,000 saved up just in case it sits on there. All right, and on top of that, so you have rent times 3 saved up. And on top of that, you need to furnish that apartment. Now, if the apartment is already furnished, great, but you need to think about the cost for beds, sheets, little things like maybe like dishes, like not a lot of dishes, but dishes and pots and pans so they can be comfortable, and keypads if you want to have a keypad for the guests to come in so you can change the code, just like little things like that. This person, I'm going to list them below. They talk about Airbnb arbitrage, so you can learn more about that topic on there. That is a great way to get into short-term leasing, investing without having your own property. It doesn't cost you much to make the phone calls, and if you already have some money saved up and you're looking for a great way to start, first, of course, do your research and then, plan accordingly. And yeah, reach out to some people that allow subleasing and, start making money that way. And make sure you do everything calculated and you actually calculate the cost you actually calculate everything, like the expenses, in order to make a profit on Airbnb arbitrage. My next option is tax lien investing. Now, I don't know too much about tax lien investing, but I know that it doesn't require too much money to do it, right? So tax lien investing is pretty much let's say you have taxes to pay on your property. Now, if you become delinquent in those taxes, there will be a lien put on your home, a tax lien. So it doesn't matter if you're paying your mortgage on time or you're paying your HOA on time. If you're not paying your taxes, there will be a lien on your home and your home can be taken away from you. So let's say I have a vacant home that my mom or somebody left me, and I have to take care of my own home, and I just can't keep up with the taxes, so I let the taxes go delinquent, and I have about $1,000 worth of taxes to be paid. Now, if somebody goes and pays the taxes for me, and this varies state to state, then I have to go pay that person back plus a percentage. I think that's how it goes. Please do your research. Like I said, I'm just listening to options here. So I will have to pay, let's say like the state of Texas is 30% interest, right? If I don't pay the 30% interest in whatever the grace or redeemable period is, I can potentially lose my home. So I can lose it to that person that paid my taxes. So with tax lien investing, you pay the taxes, you wait the redeemable period. If they don't pay it back, so you wait the redeemable period where they can redeem their home. And so if they do pay you back, let's say you pay like $1,000, you make $1,000 plus whatever the interest is. Like let's say like it's like 20% interest, so you make $1,000 plus 20% interest, right? So you make your money back that way. Or you can get their house, and now you have a house that you paid like $1,000 in taxes for. Okay, so that is a great way to start to do, like, to start investing. If you have some of these taxes on people's homes are like $80 or $100 or like $500, that is a great way to either just make a little bit of money here and there. Yes, it's a little bit slower, or you could get your whole house. So what am I gonna do with a a 3-bedroom home in wherever the heck the city is. I don't even know where the city is. You can sell it. You just bought a house for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. Sell it, sell it to somebody, an investor that wants to buy a home, and you can sell it for dirt cheap. So if you bought a home for $1,000 in that home, and you can sell it for like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, do you know how much money you just made? Okay, this person below talks about tax lien investing. So you can go ahead and search them up and you will learn a lot more about tax lien investing. All right, so my little one's awake now, so I'm just gonna try to rush through, or I'm gonna just try to quickly go through the license options of making money in real estate super fast, okay? The first one is finding a base pay brokerage. Now, after you get your license, if you can find a brokerage that will give you a base pay, that is the fastest way to make money in real estate, right? So base pay can look like $40,000 a year, and then they provide leads, and then you will be able to. That way you can focus on real estate and not have to focus on doing whatever your daytime job was and doing real estate. These brokerages are rare, very rare, and the split is a lot lower. Like you will receive maybe like 40%, they receive 60%, but it's worth it because that way at least you can get into real estate. You have $40,000 a year, that is a base pay, and then on top of that they're providing leads and you get to extra money here and there. That way you can really, the value in that is that you can really focus on real estate versus trying to juggle your daytime job and make money in real estate, because sometimes it takes up to 6 months, up to a year, 2 years. I've heard years before you can start making money in real estate. So once you have your license, once you have that license, if you can find a base pay brokerage, please go with that person, and they're legit and they're actually going to give you a base pay of like $30,000, $40,000 a year, plus on top of that commissions, and to provide leads. I would say go with that. That's the fastest way to start making money once you have a real estate license. My next thing is to find a lead providing brokerage. Kind of goes hand in hand. Lead providing brokerages, so pretty much a brokerage that provides you with leads. Now, some brokerages say like, oh, we have hundreds of leads, but there's like a catch to it. Like you gotta pay for the leads, or they gotta sometimes it's shared leads, and they're not actually sitting down and saying, hey, we have these real leads, go ahead and work on them. And especially if they can provide you nurtured leads and leads that aren't just internet leads, go with that person, go with that brokerage. Because a lot of the reasons why people drop out of real estate that early is because they don't know how to market properly, and marketing is so expensive in real estate. I'm talking like $1,400 a month just to get some serious quality leads. It costs so much money. So if you can get a brokerage that provides quality nurtured leads, that's not shared leads, it's your leads, and you don't have to pay any money for upfront, please go with that brokerage. That eliminates so much stress of figuring out what is the best way to market. Eliminates the stress of coming up with thousands of dollars a month, for 6 months down the line in marketing, and that's and it's not as risky. You're not putting up like a lot of money and risking a lot of your own money. Okay, so I would say go ahead and do that to start making money fast in real estate. And please do your research. Like I said, make sure that these leads are quality leads, and that they're not shared leads, and they're not internet leads. Internet leads can take up to a year to close. One is being a real estate assistant or an administrative assistant. Now, my last job, I was an administrative assistant to my broker, an assistant broker, and pretty much just the office itself. And I learned so much about the contracts and the back end of real estate. Like I learned so much. And I had a base pay. So I was in real estate. I learned about the contracts. I learned about the listing agreements. I learned about the lingo, the vocabulary, used. I learned about a lot of the terms. I learned about the systems. I learned about how to stay organized. I learned how she was getting her leads. I saw so much on the back end because I was an administrative assistant. This is another great way to make money while you're in real estate. Yes, you're not selling homes, but knowledge is way more important. Now, if I had done that first, like when I first got my license and I did that, I would have been way better off. And then I went into the traditional routes, I'd be making so much money, because that knowledge is power. Because after you get your license, you don't know how to market. You don't know nothing about the contracts. They don't teach you that kind of stuff when you're doing your real estate license. The best way that you learn is through experience. And I got so much experience through that job. So if you can become an administrative assistant or just an assistant to an actual real estate agent, and you shadow them and you ask them if you can do their contract work for them, so you can learn the contracts and know the contracts and know all the terms, and go to closing with them and do open houses with them and do all that stuff. If you are able to do that, please do that. And especially if they're gonna be paying you, it's not gonna be no big salary, because if it's just you're assisting a real estate agent, it may be, but more than likely it's not gonna be a huge salary. But that way you're making money and you're getting the knowledge and experience you need to set you up for greater in the future, right? It's better than just starting and not making money for 6 months. Yes, you're not making as much money, but at least you're making money right away, and you're gaining the knowledge and experience that you need for future success. Last tip is to introduce yourself. Once you're with a brokerage, introduce yourself to all the team members and make yourself readily available. Now, if you can't find an agent to actually an assistant to, make yourself available for everyone. Now, when I got my license, I went to Keller Williams. And this works especially if you're at a bigger brokerage, right? And Keller Williams was a big brokerage. So I introduced myself. I was always at the office every single day when I didn't have to do hair appointments. And I sent out emails and it's like, hey, my name is Maya. I'm a new agent. Can I do an open house for you on your behalf? And that way I think I got my first lead. It didn't take me anywhere, but I got my first lead like that, right? Offer for services like, hey, I'm a new agent. So you have this listing on ABC Street. I would love to host an open house for you. And then you guys can negotiate okay, everybody that comes in, it will be a 50 split, or I'll do paperwork for you and you give me whatever you feel. Give me like $300 for the paperwork, right? Something like that. Make yourself available. Start to help people. Can I come to closings with you? Can I do some showings with you? If you have a busy week, can I please do some showings on your behalf? I'm going to study the home. I'm going to learn as much as possible as I need to learn. You can tell me some key factors that you want me to point out, and I'll go ahead and do some showings for you. Make yourself available to as many agents as possible and keep yourself busy. If you are working a regular 9-to-5 job, just don't overthink it. If you have a spare 2 hours, what's it, baby?
This dream that I was watching and I was stuck in something that was big and it had stairs, but I was too afraid to climb up the stairs. But someone needed God's help.
They needed God's help. Okay.
I wanted God's help too, so God helped me.
God helps you. Okay. Oh, He helps you up.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm happy. What I was saying was, if you're working like a busy, let's say like 40 hours a week of schedule, right? If you can break away just for maybe even on your lunch break, or just even ask your brokerage, can I have a list of people that work at the brokerage? I would like to introduce myself. I would like to host open houses, just whatever. And then you can do it on the weekends. You have some free time. Nobody works full 24 hours a day, right? So make yourself available and have a set schedule of when you can email these people and help them out. This will help you to, once you make good connections and people see that you are trustworthy and you're available, they're gonna shoot you $20 here for each showing. They're gonna say, okay, you did my paperwork for me, I'll give you $100 or $300 here and there. And then you have great connections. Networking and connections is worth so much. I'm sure we all know how much connections are worth. The right connections make the world of a difference in your business, right? Once you know the right people. So that is a great way to start making money once you get your license as a new agent. These are all the options I have for making money in real estate as fast as possible, whether you're licensed or not licensed. And I'm just going to give you some pointers, some little notes. Oh, sorry, we have a visitor, y'all. So I'm just going to give you some quick notes. The first note is to pick what is best for you. I give you a few options for licensed and non-licensed. Now, if Airbnb arbitrage makes the most sense for you, do that. If wholesaling makes the most sense for you, do that. Do not try to get into everything at one time just because you see someone is doing it. And don't try to get into it because you think like, oh, this can make the most money. If you feel like Airbnb arbitrage is best for you, do that. Don't go to wholesaling just because you can make $30,000 a deal, right? If you have your $7,000 saved up or $10,000 saved up and you have enough money for a studio apartment and furnishing the apartments or whatever the cost is, it's the safest option for you and you won't feel as burnt out, then do that. Whatever is best for you, make sure you do that one, okay? Don't go based off of money or what someone else is doing. Whatever is easiest for you, do that. That's very important. Second thing is mindset. In real estate, there is so much rejection and it's a lot of... one second. Now, there is a lot of rejection in real estate, and it is a lot of tedious work in real estate, okay? So if you are not really mentally, if you can't take a lot of the rejection or if you can't take like a lot of the tedious work, maybe work on that and build up your mental security before jumping into this, okay? You have to have a strong mindset and be able to take rejection and just understand that rejection is just a faster way of getting to where you need to be. If you can think that way and understand that, then you'll be fine, okay? My last tip is to become a problem solver. There's going to be a lot of issues in real estate. The roof is leaking. This person doesn't agree on that. The buyer wants to back out last minute. If you cannot be a problem solver, please do not get into real estate. You have to know to solve a problem. The easiest way to solve a problem is to understand what the problem is, acknowledge the problem, analyze it, right? The buyer wants to back out. Why does he want to back out? Well, he can't get the loan. Why can't he get the loan? Because the interest rate is going to be too high for him and that payment he doesn't want to take on, or whatever the case may be. Well, maybe we can lower the price of the home and that way the payments will be a little bit lower. Something, all right? There's so many problems. You have to be a problem solver. So after you analyze the problem, then you come up with a plan, or you speak to someone that probably has more knowledge.
Mom,
Or you can also find someone that has more experience than you and can probably help you navigate through this and has been through this before and can give you the fastest way to resolve the problem. So that is a good thing. Try to figure it out on your own before. Try to figure it out on your own, like analyze the problem, acknowledge it, analyze it, try to problem solve and come up with ways to fix the problem. If you can't do that, call somebody that's been in the business, that knows, probably has gone through the same issue and see how they did it and then do it that way. Don't just go, oh my gosh, it's over because the roof fell off or something like that. You have to be a good problem solver. I know I said last tip, but one more thing. Schedule. Create a schedule. Treat it like a legit job. Create a schedule that makes sense for you. Do not try to make 30 calls a day because the other person's making 30 calls a day. You will get burnt out, right? You will get discouraged. If you know you have a baby that's always going to be all over you and it's hard for you to make time to make 30 calls a day and you don't have 3 hours to do that, plan around maybe their nap time, right? Or dissect it. Maybe at nighttime, you're going to reach out to people that can help you skip trace or something, right? Or maybe during their nap time, take them for a drive and you do driving for dollars or whatever the case may be. You do prospecting, right? And then the next day you make phone calls and then the next day you do whatever, right? Dissect it. Create a schedule that best fits with your life. Don't do what the other person's doing. Maybe they don't have any kids. Maybe they're not married. Maybe they just got all the time on their hand. They're a 14-year-old and they can do 50 calls a day, you know? Do what's best for you. That way you're not burnt out and you can quicker get to the end results because you're doing what fits best in your schedule. That is it for today's video. I probably could have said more, but I am a mommy. So yeah, I really hope that these tips help you out. Plenty other ways, but these are just the ways that I feel like is the fastest way to start making money, and it's not that expensive, and it's really realistic and really doable. And there's so much information out there that you guys can pick from on YouTube. Okay, it's tons and tons of information out there that you guys can pick from. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. I know, let me just finish this, please. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today's video. I hope that you enjoyed. Any questions, reach out to me via email or through my Instagram, which will be linked below. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.
Whoa. Oh, you Proverbs 31 with it, huh? Yeah.